It's 10 a.m. here in the Hudson Valley, and I need to escape to California. I've lived in the same town, in the same house, surrounded by the same people, places, and things for 23 years. I have a story that people need to hear. A story that will go viral and catalyze my fame for decades to come, leaving my friends and family in a sort of awe that will leave them breathless. California is the only place to do that. That's where I'm at. You ready to join me? Before you answer that, you need to understand your role in all this. If you're coming with me on my journey, you must only be a bystander. You must not interject or complain, show fear. You must not try to stop me, and you must not attempt to convince me of anything beyond my own plan. I don't exactly have a plan, but I'm gonna figure it out. Figuring out the plan is all in the plan. I will talk to you a lot, but you must not state your opinions. You are a bystander, and whatever happens, happens. But most importantly, do not call the police. So I'll ask again. You ready to join me? My medication is sitting in a small yellow pencil box, hidden behind an old pile of shirts under my bed. I'll tell you if I need them, but for right now I don't. I'm happy I don't need them, but don't share that with anyone. I would throw the pills away, but I'm not sure how to dispose of them properly. I wouldn't want to poison the environment the way the doctors poisoned me for 10 years. Sometimes I think about taking them again, or at least making an appointment with my psychiatrist, but it would be a waste of time to wait 3 weeks for a 15-minute appointment. I don't need my psychiatrist anymore now that powerful internet search engines can give me all the information I need to better my health. I'm really trying to be better. Yesterday, my mother said she could hear my voice from every corner of the house when I was awake at 5 a.m. washing dishes. Fine, then I won't do dishes anymore, right? My mom sleeps a lot, but that's just because she's old. Like a 16-year-old cat, she's just not enthused anymore. She just sleeps in her bed like a dead woman waiting to go to the same job she's been working at for 36 years. Fame will be such a better path for me than what my mother chose, sitting at a desk all day. Writing poetry, making videos, and doing other creative things makes me happy, but that happiness always diminishes at the thought of I have nothing of value to contribute to this world. If I were famous, I'd have something to contribute, but right now I am just triumphantly mediocre. The best thing I can claim for myself is my 15-minute short film, which I wrote and directed in college. It sits on the internet with a whopping 174 views. It isn't a lot of attention, but it's something to be proud of, I suppose. I'll have bigger things to be proud of when I arrive in California. Create a lot of deeply personal art, my sister suggests. Stop navel-gazing, my English professors advise. That sort of art won't make me famous, my friends tell me. It's too self-indulgent, I've heard. It isn't marketable. There's no niche for it. I need to find a unique angle if I really want to become famous. Good thing my story will be nothing that anyone's ever heard of. I hear San Francisco is where I belong because it's such a gay city or whatever. I don't even know if I'm really gay. No, it's not the way some other people are. I mean, I am certainly attracted to men, but I suppose childhood trauma had something to do with that. My gay friends love to say that they were born this way, but for me, I've always felt left out of that kind of pride. I don't really think I was born gay, and I'm not going to tell myself that to encourage others to accept me more. My attraction to men, as far as I'm concerned, comes from many different places and experiences, and I don't subscribe to the notion that I was necessarily destined to love men and fuck men from the time I was born. So sue me. When I go to California, I won't be going to meet a man. What will my family think when I go to California? My mother will most likely try to stop me, so I'll need to frame this as a journey she'll support, one that my family will support. Right now, my family wants me to do better. So that has to be the reason why I'm doing all this in the first place. Seeking fame won't convince them that I'm doing any better. So I need a cover-up of some sort. I'm glad we're getting to know each other. And please, pardon my franticness. Is that a word? Professors always make up words. I'm always frantic. It's difficult to organize my thoughts, so I make to-do lists. The first item on my to-do list today was to figure out how to overcome bipolar disorder without medication. The second was to learn how to survive a manic episode. These were scheduled from 8 in the morning till 9. It's enough time, right? Can't be that complicated. After all, my psychiatrist only spends 15 minutes with me. But all that came up in the search results were these sort of blog-style listicles selling me herbal remedies guaranteed to better my mental health or my money back. That won't do. I don't even have the money to put down. I need real research, so I rescheduled that task for next week. I'll be fine until then. It's okay if you're concerned about me. I always seem to concern people. Just stick around and wait. You'll see how fast I'm going to make this work. I'll figure it out. I'm already starting to feel comfortable with you, but I need to relax for a moment. We'll catch up later. I'm so excited to go to California with you. Good morning. Rising and shining, my first full day, luxury rehab. All the patients kind of look like me. Male, kind of dejected, may or may not have a serious drug problem, could possibly be seeking an escape from something, angry. I don't particularly like any of them, but I get to go on the deck whenever I want to see the beach, so I guess it's okay. I sort of feel out of place here. When I got here last night, I spoke with a pleasant young man who entered a lot of information into a computer. He asked me about my psychiatric history, my drug history, and a bunch of other personal stuff. I've done this before, sitting next to a counselor, pretending to listen. He was very nice to me, and they asked me what my favorite song was. I told them it's this song called Shoulda Known Better by Sufjan Stevens. It's off his album Carrie and Lowell, his most personal album by far. And what do you like about him? The drug counselor. His name was Frank, asked. He's magnificent, I said. He really is. His music isn't like all the other songs out there, electronic and fake. His lyrics are like poetry, and he strings them throughout warm and gentle notes. Sadly, you don't find a lot of music like that these days. I told Frank all this, and he looked at me like he was pretending to be fascinated. I went on to tell him about my music interests for about 15 minutes. The most important thing I told him about was my playlists. I create lists of songs on my music apps based on what I'm listening to currently, I told him. I have a spring 2016 playlist, a graduation playlist, a Christmas 2013 playlist, all made up of songs that I listened to during those times. Do you have a lot of them? At this point, Frank only seemed kind of interested. About 64 playlists for different times and places in my life, I said. When I'm sad, I listen to the fall 2015 playlist, and I time travel back to the best part of college. Fall 2015. Music does that, you know. Does what? He asked. It lets you time travel. Not actually, but like, if I listen to any one of those playlists, for a split second, I'll feel like I'm back there. Back at graduation, or back at the best time of college. I ranted. Music affects memory in a really cool way, I think. Whether I'm addicted to drugs or not, music definitely helps me cope with everything that seems to go wrong inside my head. When I have bad thoughts, music floods the empty, damaged potholes in my mind, and then it's perfect. And then I can lay in bed and my thoughts will filter out, and the melodies will pacify me. If I didn't have music, I would probably kill myself. 135, 135. I've always wanted wood floors. They promised me an ocean view from my room, but mine is actually a gazebo view. Why would they give me a gazebo view? Sure, it's nice, but the website specifically stated an ocean view from every room. I hate false promises. I'm walking to the kitchen and I catch eyes with the chef. I hate when I catch eyes with people. Do you know what I mean by catch eyes? One time I was walking in New York City and I caught eyes with a man wearing almost nothing. He had the stomach of a beer-bellied dad, and his face shone with pride. I caught eyes with him, and I swear, I saw his soul. I felt wounded, but also tender. Medium rare. That quick second of catching eyes with him, and I felt like I'd known him my entire life. I don't miss New York, that's for sure. The chef is making frittatas this morning, and I'm melting into the comfort of this couch. When does the rehab start? I got here last night and met my roommate, Oscar L. Do you know how many times I've met a roommate within the context of the mental health system? 13. This guy's the best yet. He doesn't say a word, which clearly means we'll get along great. He told me he's detoxing from pills. I told him my stepfather died from pills, and then he left the room. Now that he's gone, I'm gonna go on a dating app and find out who's out here in California. The dating apps I use are a lot different than the site my dad uses. When he shows me who he's looking at, they're all classy old women who want to find companionship for the remainder of their lives. I could never show my dad who I'm looking at. Headless chests, in their mid-20s, in blank profiles. No wonder it's so hard for people my age to find love. Ding! There's a message already. His name's Kevin. He's less than a mile away. If I chat him up, he'll surely want to meet. I wonder if that's allowed here. Like, for example, all of us here in the rehab have needs. Those kinds of needs. They accommodate so much for us. I'm sure they'll accommodate my wanting to dip out of here for a few minutes. Get a little action, right? I'm not sure. I hate sex. I love sex, but I hate sex. I hate how I was initially exposed to sex. I hate how sex has become some casual and everyday life. I hate how I shame myself for sex. And I hate the memories of almost every sexual experience I've had. But for the sex that was good, I love feeling close to someone. I love the warmth and feeling good and smiling, not caring about anything else, even if it was just for a split second. But I hate what comes after, the regret, dirtiness, the isolation, the self-awareness. There's only been one person in my life I truly loved having sex with because I loved him. Ryan Richards. The first time we had sex, this one song came on that I really liked. He told me the lyrics were too sad for it to play in the background. I was enjoying the song in the background. Not because of the lyrics, but because of the sound. And even though I thought the rhythm and the melody of the song matched our sex very well, he did not. Because of the words. It was interesting how much Ryan always paid attention to words. So I got up from the bed to change our sex song with my wet body sagging around the room, and I can't explain it. We were just laughing and we were talking, and the sex wasn't scary. It was nice because I loved him. Believe it or not, that song became one of our favorites, the one I had to turn off. He was sort of the best. Do you remember what went wrong? Suddenly, this dating app looks less appealing. So does this rehab. And so does California. I really, really, really want to smoke the plant. I don't exactly know why I'm here. Let's recap, huh? I told them I'm addicted to the plant, but I don't know if I'm addicted to the plant. I wanted to come to California to try out fame, but somehow I ended up in a rehab. Maybe smoking the plant bothers me. On a moral level, mostly, but also on a psychological level. Maybe I don't talk about a lot of things with Frank, or my mother, or myself. Maybe I actually wanted to come to rehab so I could stop smoking the plant, even though I'm not addicted. But then again, maybe feeling guilty about the plant is just a hoax, like reefer madness. Maybe if I just smoke the plant at night, maybe just a little bit on the weekends, I'll be fine. Maybe I'm a little dependent on the plant, but it's not even addictive, so maybe there's nothing to worry about, right? Do you think maybe some people become addicts to the plant? Maybe the post I saw on social media was right. Can it cause psychosis? Because that notion is proportionally found in people with mood disorders. Good thing I'm controlling my mood disorder, right? 135, 135, 135. Maybe I'm falling apart. Maybe I'm dancing the dance I've always danced. Maybe, but only possibly. I'm just really, really, really out of my mind. How's it going? Just waking up this morning. This whole trip is a kicker. The hallways are thin here. The walls, wooden. It reminds me of my grandma and grandpa's old house in the Catskills. If I recall correctly, that was the house where I would lie awake at night and listen to my father and grandma talk about my mother. I would count the dots on the ceiling until they became stars, and I'd just think and think and think. It started at an early age, my thinking, my overactive mind. It was 2008 when I discovered the world might end in 2012, and for nearly half a decade, I imagined my life ending abruptly due to a large mushroom cloud, or a genocide, or some horrific and frightening travesty. A lot of my worries from childhood seem minuscule now, except for that one. Horrific death still stands in the spotlight, center stage. I'm in the bathroom now. When I'm in the bathroom, I can feel death at its nearest. Makes sense though, since my stepfather's death. 135, 135. I want to take a bath. But it's not working. The water just keeps draining. No matter what I do, it won't work. This is ridiculous. It's luxury rehab, not a broken home. I'm butt naked, freezing in this bathroom, and I just want to sit in warm water. Guess I'm just going to take this washcloth, stick it right here, right at the drain, get it in there good. I'll just leave my foot at the drain, squishing the cloth onto the hole for more pressure, and voila, a fixed bathtub. I should have gone to trade school. I'm going to get out of the bath. That wasn't as relaxing as back at home. The drain is still not working correctly though, and I'm doubting the level of luxury that this rehab advertised. All I am is my body, and I feel that the most right now. Sometimes I don't feel like a man, but I wouldn't tell anybody that. Besides you, of course. It's not that I feel like a woman, but sometimes when I'm alone in the bathroom, freshly soaked at the steaming shower, I wipe the wetness off the mirror and dance like a woman to my favorite female artist. Hairbrush is a mic, towel is a sparkling dress. Then, after 20 seconds of fierceness, I scrub my towel on my face, take a deep breath, and exit the steamy bathroom. Sometimes, your body can be a source of joy in non-sexual ways. If I could pull on my ears far enough away from my head to rip the skin off my skull, I would do so just to get a good look at my brain. Many times, I'm not sure if what goes on in here looks the same as other people. If it's not, what does that mean? Am I less normal, less human? If other people feel this way too, why doesn't anybody talk about it? And if other people feel this way too, then that must mean we are all normal and human just for the sake of having mental quirks. But if no one else experiences what I do, then I am certain the lowest common denominator. It's taken me over 45 seconds to put on my shorts. My left leg just isn't going through. I keep falling. Put the shorts on. Okay, they're on. Upstairs in the common room, there's a man on the couch who isn't one of my rehab buddies. I tolerate him at best. Zach, with 2 C's. What you doing? He questions, his mouth only partially open. I just took a bath. I state, my breath sharp like a paper cut. He laughs like a meerkat. My left eye quivers from stress. Am I having an aneurysm? This is what's really bothering me right now. Zach. This fat fuck laughs at me for taking a bath, but he's the one withdrawing from meth. Shit. It wasn't all that nice. It feels sort of confrontational. My mother always told me that if I continued treating people like this, I would never have the emotional intelligence to be in a successful relationship, and that my anger would spew out onto other people. Fuck out of here, Zach shouts. I'm not really sure what that means. So I walk back to my room to say goodbye to Oscar L. A smile is shining on my face, shining like a freshly packed glass pipe. In my bedroom, I spot my pill-laden roommate watching a football game. I fiddle with the old Argyle socks I pick up from underneath my bed. I see the gazebo. Through the doorway on the left side of my room, I can see my body in front of me. Below me, I am not fully here. Escape. 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 Don't think those thoughts. Although, it's a very alluring thought to escape. You're doing a great job of playing bystander because I think I'm about to make a choice that you're not going to like. Fiddle with my socks, I fiddle with my fingers, I fiddle with the bottom of my shirt, and then an impulse turns to action. Hey dude, what do you think would happen if I just walked off the property? I ask with a hopeful inflection. The corners of my mouth reach upward, my hand taps on my knee. Suddenly, I'm no longer a depressed shell of a person. I am flying now more than ever. You're voluntary, right? Oscar L. asks, approaching a favorable answer. They can't do shit. In a sense, I see this moment as a sign. Why would this be a poor decision? This is clearly an omen that I not only can, but should walk off the property. When I leave, I can forget about New York, and Ryan, and my mother, and all the other shit that stinks on the other side of the country. When I walk off the property, I can network with entertainment professionals, perform at open mics, maybe make some YouTube videos in a new Los Angeles studio apartment or something. Can't be that hard. This is the perfect plan. This was the plan after all. I turn on the dating app, the epitome of all escape. Kevin's profile displays an orange dot at the top left corner of his icon, indicating he's online, waiting for me. I message him, and it goes a little something like this. Me. Hey, Kevin, I remember you. Me. Yeah, from yesterday, LOL. Kevin, what's up? Me. Not too much, just relaxing. Remember what I told you yesterday? Kevin. What? Me. Where am I? I stare at the screen for 3 minutes until I see the status of my message change from sent to delivered. As far as I know, delivered indicates that he read the message. I then wait another 2 minutes before receiving his response. Kevin. Yeah, you're at that fancy therapy place, haha. Me. Yeah, so I'm signing myself out today, LOL. I don't really feel like I need it, to be honest. Kevin. Get out of there, dude. It's a bunch of rich people who need a vacation. Me. True. Kevin. Well, if you want to hang out when we get out of here, you should come through so we can meet each other. I can smoke you up. Kevin sends me his location. When a dating prospect sends you their location on an app, a map appears indicating where exactly they are. This is particularly convenient because now I'm headed somewhere specific once I escape. I get such a good feeling from his text messages. We're gonna get along great, and then who knows where it will all go. My dreams are coming true. I knew I had the right feeling when I brought you with me. Maybe you're my lucky charm. Maybe I wouldn't be able to come to these conclusions if it weren't for you. I pick myself up from my bed. I move one foot in front of the other. Step by step, I go forward. I turn my phone on airplane mode, eliminating the chance of anyone being able to contact me. I am 3,000 miles away from everyone who doesn't care at all about me. I will be invisible to the world today, tomorrow, until I become famous. I screenshot Kevin's location and cook up a plan in my head. I say, "Good luck, dude," to my roommate. Placing my hand on the doorway handle, I take one more look at the gazebo. That reminds me of home, this beautiful haunted pavilion. I walk down the path, past the house toward the garage. I'm standing at the line where the driveway pavement meets the road. When I step beyond the pavement and onto the street, I will be limitless. There is no security, there is only serenity. The garage door to the gorgeous rehabilitation center that I desperately don't deserve opens. Frank and the staff who believed in me and trusted me look straight toward me. My pathetic, quivering legs. 1, 3, 5. I run as fast as I can.